And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can you believe this is already June the 24th? Have mercy. July the 4th is right around the corner. We'll be getting you all the festivities that will happen with our nation's birthday. Meridian getting ready for theirs. I know Kemper County, Clark County, and I'm pretty sure they'll have their big celebration there in Newton counties at Turkey Creek is where they normally have theirs. If we haven't gotten your information, please get that to us. We'd like to share all that. It's going to be a fun time, and hope you enjoy yourself this year with that. A few showers to the north of the Meridian area. Let's go ahead and take a look at radar this morning as we look at this. Kemper County getting some showers now all around Scuba, west back toward DeKalb. As you get northern Philadelphia, as you get in just a little bit closer on this, you'll see that DeKalb is light showers. But Lord, look at that thunderstorm we got going on in Scuba right now. Coming on down. It's letting that grass grow from all the way there to almost Wahalik there to Presley Bottom. We've got showers right along in there. A little bit east out here. You don't quite make it to the Bama line with that heavy rain, but light showers out there. As we get into Preston area, Linville, a lot of rain there up by Kemper Lake as well, and fastly moving toward Cyples Mills. As we go back over Bogachita, as we see that into Neshoba County, and also to the northeast 21 if you're coming into Philadelphia. Highway 21 this morning. A little bit wet. We'll check that radar and all that good stuff here again in a few moments to see what's going on with the weather. That's up and coming as well. Some headlines that are shaping America this morning, so you'll kind of know what's happening out there. A few of you already up and stirring as I see you making your mark there. Richard, how are you today? James? Denny? Charlie? A lot of y'all up. Mark? And Miss Sheila, I see you as well. We'll be right back. Let's get a good word. We'll be right back with this.
Hey, before I jump into today's devotional, let me invite your family to our Vacation Bible School here at Collinsville First Baptist Church. It begins this morning at 8:30 a.m. and goes until 11:30 every day this week, Monday through Friday. It's for children who turned 4 years old last September 1 and all the way up to those who have completed 6th grade. Get more info at our Collinsville First Baptist Church website, fbccms.com. And now for today's piece of wisdom. Now, God gives us a very important piece of wisdom in Proverbs 11:1. He writes, "A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight." Now, a balance is talking about a beam scale. You've seen those before. I mean, they're real an old school way of weighing something. There's a pillar in the middle and then a beam across the top. And then on both sides of the beam hangs a pan. And when the material in this pan is equal to the material in that pan, the two pans hang in perfect balance. And so, to know how much salt is a pound of salt, you would put a weight on one side of the scale that you know weighs 1 pound, and then you would add salt to the other side until the scale is perfectly balanced. That's when you know you have a pound of salt. But people are sinners. I don't know if you found that out yet or not. And we're prone to cheat. And so they find ways to give a false balance. They find a way to weigh something unfairly so they can get ahead. And God says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. Why? Because it's lying, but a just weight is His delight. Now, this is true in the business world. We must measure things truly and fairly. But this is also true in life. We must weigh people and situations fairly. Too often, our criticism of a particular person or situation is heavier than our criticism of this person or that situation, okay? Or even how we would want to be criticized. We should be fair with everybody and treat everyone the same. We should weigh others the way we would want to be weighed. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord. So, beloved, don't throw out your scales. Just make sure they're balanced. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I'll say good morning to Miss Vera joining us from Geiger, Alabama. What a great place. Spent a lot of time there in my life. As we begin today, 76 as you're waking up. That's warm for this time of morning, isn't it? I often look at headlines that are shaping America, and I do realize that there's just no reforming some people. And what do I mean by that? Reform. You do bad and you learn not to do these things. But at 88 years old, if you haven't learned not to do wrong, then there is no hope. And I think this happened long before this. 88-year-old man will spend the next 2 years in jail for bank robbery. Oh, yes, of course, he's been to jail for this before. He and his 26-year-old pal decided they needed to make extra money, so Stephen Whitecloud drove the getaway car. They robbed 2 banks. They've been caught. He was sentenced last time he done this to 10 years in prison for robbing banks, and, well, it just goes on and on. Since 2017, he's had 3 criminal convictions, including a felony for criminal mischief after he shot at someone, and another person stealing out of someone else's trunk there. He's
10 years didn't do it. Try 20.
Yeah. I don't think he'll make it on that 20 there, Odie.
Oops.
Oops. But I'm just saying, and I think a lot of people agree that no matter what you do with some, I don't think you can change their course of what they're going to do. And at 88, if you're still robbing banks and know that you will go to jail, maybe that's why he done it. We've heard stories of people that want to go back to jail. Columbus, Ohio, 10 people shot downtown area. They're seeking suspects. Not good at all. I've been through Columbus. I don't know how to pronounce this young man's name, and I'll do my best at it. He's a rapper. Fulio?
That's what I'd go with.
We're going to go with rapper Fulio. He's been killed in Tampa. They're trying to identify who did it and why they did it, but there's something with rappers, and it's constantly shootings with that format. I don't understand what goes on. You don't typically see that with pop music. You don't see it with country as much. Every now and then Johnny Paycheck been out of shape and he pulled a gun. But boy, that the rap world, it is. We can't tell you the times. It was in Memphis not long ago. Someone was shot. Have you heard of this? It happened over the week. Arkansas, the grocery store. 4th person has died from a shooting that happened in Arkansas over the weekend. Just senseless, these things that go on like that. It's going to get to a point in America, and I pause as I try to think of wording for this, of where we're going. There's all the time we hear the terms reparations. We see presidents on tours of saying, I'm sorry that we were in a war with you from many, many moons ago. At this point, the way America is headed, we should just call the British up and say, here's the title back. We're sorry that we started American Revolution, and, well, here you go. As we roll back the tides 175 years to where in Illinois, where some land was taken in some type of battle, and I do believe this was with Native Americans of some type. They want to give back the land that they say was stolen. The entire place would have to be given back, even back to the British, if we keep this roll up. History is history. It is what it is. We learn from history. Always remember that. We see things being changed. We see statues coming down. You cannot change history. When you alter what has happened, it repeats itself. We got some hard times ahead for our nation as we move forward. This really hits home for us folks here in Mississippi as we turn to Texas. A woman is arrested. She was trying to drown her 3-year-old. Well, actually, she was trying to drown a 3-year-old, period. She's been arrested. And I'm telling you, that really hits our area hard right now. The thought is terrifying. Or if you're an activist and you have to go to this extreme, you're really boring. You just really couldn't find anything else to complain about this weekend, could you? As we see protesters storm the 18th green at the Travelers Championship to spray orange paint. I mean, you go from Stonehenge to this, it got boring. Whoever planned y'all's event this weekend didn't know what they were doing. We see that the Mets, and again, I don't watch professional baseball. It doesn't excite me, but a guy named Edwin Diaz, if I'm pronouncing that right, he's been thrown out of the next 10 games. Whoop, what's that? A pitcher having something in his hand that he shouldn't? It was bad enough that they've expelled him for 10 games. That's called cheating. Here's a good story as we see this in California. A little boy, 4 years old. He disappeared from a campground. His parents was camping out, and he disappeared. He was found 22 hours later alone in the forest. He was safe. Boy, don't you love good endings? Here's one for you. As you get a little bit older, this happens also in California. It must be a big deal to go hiking. But a guy was hiking, was lost for 9 days. He has been found. He said he made it off living off creek water. You got to do what you got to do. There's some folks that wouldn't have made it. But 9 days lost, pretty serious there. And probably a remote area where a cell phone or anything like that wouldn't work. That tends to happen in those areas. I've often wondered, people that don't own an actual GPS who travel off, there are areas where you lose cell phone service and, well, you wouldn't know where you're going. GPS usually on the dash works regardless. Tunnels, they seem to go away, but outside of that, they normally work from a satellite. Just small thoughts there. Let's see what else is going on this morning as we look at this. Another puzzling, I don't understand where we're going. And I need to look this up. I got into my John Wayne quotes this morning. Man, what an American. And if you don't think John Wayne was a great American, then you and I probably wouldn't fit good. We couldn't sit down and have cornbread and peas together. Let's just word it that way. But I need to go back and see the exact way John Wayne worded this. Basically, in a nutshell, John Wayne said, any time that there's a hyphenation with the word American in front of it, it ain't right. You move to our country, you're American. He doesn't believe in blank American or whatever it might be. You're either American or you're not, is what John Wayne said. And I agree with him on that. As we see this constant fighting now in the streets of America of things that are going on in other countries, we see that, and I don't understand this, how more and more Americans back Palestinians after they attack the Jewish. It's one squabble, one fight, and they're hurting people in the streets of America. Where are we headed? We need a leader. We need someone that steps up to the plate and handles these situations. I don't know much about surfing. I do remember the song Surfing USA. We brought that up last week, didn't we? Yeah. This guy was in Pirates of the Caribbean. He played a part in there as a pirate. And he's also been in a lot of movies. He's 49 years old. He's a surfing legend named Tamio Perry. Oh, this ain't good. We've heard these stories here lately of sharks. He washed upon the beach. He was deceased. Shark attack. And he's a legend that does this. That's bad. That's bad. Y'all watch this when you go swimming. That riptide's bad, but boy, those sharks even worse. Some animals shouldn't be messed with. They're brought into captivity. They're trained to do this, that, and the other. Of course, when you think of a circus, you think of an elephant. There's a guy that was training an elephant. He's no longer doing that. Elephant stomped him to death after he hit him with a cane, and, well, the elephant didn't appreciate that too much, so he just reached out and pop. It's over for him. He won't train anything else. I know that's harsh, but that's exactly what happened in that situation. California has issues, and I brought up a minute ago, of we need the leadership. We've often commented on this subject of the minimum wage. We understand that a minimum wage job, you can't raise your family on it. A lot of times these jobs are a way to get started. You're in high school and you go on. But California seems to change that. As we see another restaurant, it's been in business for over 30 years, a McDonald's. They can't make it paying that new minimum wage. They've had to shut their doors. People who are on a lunch break, and it's not everybody that's a construction worker. I'm just giving this as an example. So you're working a construction job, you run through McDonald's, you grab something, $5, $7, $8. When it gets to $20 to $25 for a hamburger at any restaurant and a Coke and fries, you can't afford to do that every day. We're going to see more and more fail as these beliefs are passed on. You just can't afford that for a hamburger. I can't, and I'm sure you can't either. But we're seeing this nationwide. Do we want minimum wage to go up to help the average guy? Yes. During the 50s and 60s, could you raise a family off the minimum wage? You could then. You can't now. It goes back to CEOs of companies. We all know this, to where they get $20 million a year bonuses, and the average guy that's out there working gets nothing. It's a refocusing that needs to happen. I think your company would grow if you treat your workers better. People would, well, have pride in it. It's all about profit, profit, profit these days. Just a few small thoughts. We'll be right back as we get into the forecast. Well, I'll let you interpret that how you want to. You see the same stories I do day in, day out. How do you feel about them? Again, my biggest concern is there's no manufacturing here in the U.S. of A. If you don't have it, you can't produce jobs, and you can't get it in time of need if we were to be attacked by someone. We'll be right back with that weather forecast as we get together for our early Monday morning edition.
The Preserve at Meridian is the premier senior living community in the Meridian area, offering independent living cottages, assisted living, and maintain their independence and pursue an engaging lifestyle with a robust activities calendar, personalized care programs, wellness activities, restaurant-style dining, and much more. Call or visit us online today at preserveatmeridian.com to schedule your personal tour.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
So what's going on with the record highs and record lows? It was back only 2 years ago that we had a high of 102. Now today we're only predicted to be 99. Tomorrow, y'all get ready, 101. Today's heat index should reach 105. Tomorrow, 106, could be even a little higher. We are deep into the hot days of summer. As we look at the record low, it was set back in 02. And I mean 1902 with a low of 58. Boy, that's been a year or two ago, hasn't it? As we look at that forecast today, 99 projected there. We do have a slight 20% chance of rain today that is showing out in Kemper County and Neshoba County this morning as we speak. As we move across and we look at the Bama line, as we'll see anywhere from 97 to 98 from here all the way over to Birmingham. Over to Auburn, we should see 96. Southward, a little bit cooler down Dothan, Troy, Alabama, around 96. As we look at this, now here's the heat stress. This could be anywhere. We're projected today to be 105, but it could go up as high as 110. This is going to be today and tomorrow. We urge you to work early. If you've got to do stuff outside, do it early. Finish up by 9 o'clock. Wait till, what is it, about 6 o'clock when sun starts going down, 6:30?
7 o'clock.
Could be 7. Hang in there till then. Wait to do that, especially weed eating. I know there's folks that have to do that for a living, but if you're not used to it and don't work out on this every day, it will wreak havoc upon you. What's going on as we look at this? Look at that heat wave across the deep south from Louisiana, Mississippi, Bama, up through Georgia and the Carolinas. We have got it, including Tennessee. It is hot, hot, hot. Now, here's our 7-day outlook as we glance at this. 99 today. They've moved that up a little bit since 4 this morning. We'll see 101 tomorrow, and each day has that 20% chance. Now, we do have that rain, our biggest chance, moving in on Wednesday. A 20, 40%, 60% chance. Let me back up on that. 60% chance, high of 96. Still raining the forecast on Thursday with a 40% chance. By Friday, things start tapering off to 20%, and Saturday 20%, and then move back up to a 40% chance on Sunday. Now, here's what we've got. As we look here, we do have some scattered showers that will happen on July 4th. It was predicted in the beginning to be the earlier part of the day, about a 47% chance of showers. We'll watch that. Nothing big. Keep it kind of damp there to where you can enjoy yourself. As we move on to take a look at what that fishing forecast calls for today, it's not going to be bad. Your best chance to fish today will be late this afternoon. Have that rod and reel in hand by 3:30. You can fish until about 5:30. Minor times again around lunchtime today, but it's minor and it's hot. I'm not so sure I'd go out and do that. We see that the wind's going to be northwest around 5 miles an hour this morning. Something to think on there. So look at that forecast. Let's go back and look at radar now. Let me show you what's going on in Kemper County. As we mentioned earlier, showers there, and it's still coming down, breaking up, and it's light showers now in Scuba. We've got heavier rain back over around DeKalb. But look at this, Highway 16. Right there at the Dollar General, Ford store, that area, all the way up to Bogachita, and just south of Linville, heavy showers. Now, we've got heavy rain there coming down around the police station in Philadelphia, up past the Coliseum, all the way to Burns Park. Whew, look at that. Neshoba Central getting wet right now. Those are our areas, and that's just a 20% chance. But boy, there's that landing strip right here. Y'all know at Williams Field. Look at the rain coming down there. Use caution in those areas. Even a little bit southward there, coming out of DeKalb, you'll find it there at New Hope Volunteer Fire Department. I'll tell you all about that. We've got headlines on the way at 7 o'clock. Oh, the preacher man is going to be ready to talk about things today. Vacation Bible School is coming to Collinsville. I hear there's a whole bunch of youngsters signed up. Are your kids? It's not too late. We'll find out all the details coming up with Brother Ben. He'll fill us in on that beginning at 7. Won't you join us? It happens in just a few moments from now. We'll see you in just a minute at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.